Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Oh God, music player. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, good morning, everybody. Let's try this again. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Oh, okay, I'm gonna make a loop on this one. Okay, B. Okay, and then. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, oh my Lord. Oh, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna. Oh boy. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna. Krishna, 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 Hare, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ah, ah, ah. Ooh, Hare Krishna. Ooh. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna. Krishna. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Sri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gora Bhaktavinda. So let's see here. Let's bring some people on here. Oh, what happened here? Share. Okay. Share. No. Invite. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So anybody wants to come on can. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hari Hari. Where are we? Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari Rama, Hari Rama. Rama, Rama, Hari Hari. Hari Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hari Hari. Hari Rama, Hari Rama. Okay, you're in the links. It's in the link. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. There she is. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Vedavyas. The gopis glorify Krishna's flute. Chapter 21, 10th Canto. Shukadev Goswami said, thus the Vrindavan forest was filled with transparent autumnal waters and cooled by breezes, perfumed with the fragrance of lotus flowers growing in the clear lakes. The infallible Lord, accompanied by his cows and cowherd boyfriends, entered that Vrindavan forest. The infallible Lord, accompanied by his cows and cowherd boyfriends, entered that Vrindavan forest. The lakes, the rivers, the hills of Vrindavan resounded with the sounds of maddened bees. The lakes, rivers, and hills of Vrindavan resounded with the sounds of maddened bees, and the flocks of birds moving about the flowering trees. In the company of the cowherd boys and Balaram, Madhupati Sri Krishna entered that forest. While herding the cows, he began to vibrate his flute. When the young ladies in the cowherd village of Raj when the young ladies of the cowherd village of Raj when the young ladies of the cowherd village of Raj and the young ladies of the cowherd village of Raj when the young ladies in the cowherd village of Raj heard the song of Krishna's flute. When the young ladies in the cowherd village of Raj heard the song of Krishna's flute. When they heard the song of Krishna's flute. When they heard the song of Krishna's flute. Which arouses the influence of Cupid. Please mute your mic there, Johan. Some of them privately began describing Krishna's qualities to their intimate friends. Some of them privately began describing Krishna's qualities to their friends. To their intimate friends. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna. But when they remembered his activities, O king, the power of Cupid disturbed their minds, and thus they could not speak. The cowherd girls began to speak about Krishna. But when they remembered his activities, O king, the power of Cupid disturbed their minds, and they could not speak. Wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, wearing a peacock feather ornament upon his head, and blue Karnatika flowers on his ears, a yellow garment as brilliant as gold, and a Vijayanti garland. And the Vijayanti garland. Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers. As he entered the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. As he entered Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints, he filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys began to sing his glories. And the cowherd boys sang his glories. Lord Krishna exhibited his transcendental form as the greatest of dancers as he entered the forest of Vrindavan, beautifying it with the marks of his footprints. He filled the holes of his flute with the nectar of his lips, and the cowherd boys sang his glories. O king, when the young ladies in Vraj heard the sound of Krishna's flute, which captivates the minds of all living beings, they all embraced one another and began describing it. The cowherd girl said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate." The cowherd girl said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate." As these two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, as these two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision. The cowherd girl said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate." As these two sons enter the forest, surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. The cowherd girl said, all right, let's try it without now. The cowherd girl said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As these two sons enter the forest surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold their flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no other greater object of vision. For those who have eyes, we think there is no other greater object of vision." The cowherd girl said, "O friends, those eyes that see the beautiful faces of the sons of Maharaj Nanda are certainly fortunate. As these two sons enter the forest surrounded by their friends, driving the cows before them, they hold the flutes to their mouths and glance lovingly upon the residents of Vrindavan. For those who have eyes, we think there is no greater object of vision." Dressed in charming variety of garments, upon which their garlands rest, and decorating themselves with peacock feathers, lotuses, lilies, newly grown mango sprouts, and clusters of flowers, Krishna and Balaram shine forth magnificently among the assembly of cowherd boys. They look just like the best of dancers appearing on a dramatic stage, and sometimes they sing. My dear gopis, what auspicious activities must the flute have performed to enjoy the nectar of Krishna's lips independently and leave only a taste for us gopis, for whom that nectar is actually meant. The forefathers of the flute, the bamboo trees, shed tears of pleasure. His mother, the river on whose bank the bamboo was born, feels jubilation, and therefore her blooming lotus flowers are standing like hair on her body. Chapter 15, Anchalila, the transcendental madness of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna is very difficult to understand, even for a demigod as Lord Brahma. By enacting his pastimes, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu submerged himself in that ocean, and his heart was absorbed in that love. Thus he exhibited in various ways the exalted position of transcendental love for Krishna. Thus he exhibited in various ways the exalted position of love for Krishna. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all glories to Lord Nityananda, whose body is always filled with transcendental bliss. All glories to Lord Advaitacharya, who is very dear to Lord Chaitanya, and all glories to all the devotees of the Lord, headed by Srivas Thakur. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu forgot himself throughout the entire day and night, being merged in an ocean of ecstatic love for Krishna. The Lord would maintain himself in three states of consciousness. Sometimes he was merged totally in ecstatic emotion. Sometimes he was in partial external consciousness, and sometimes he was in full external consciousness. Actually, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always merged in ecstatic emotion. But just as a potter's wheel turns without the potter touching it, the Lord's bodily activities like bathing, going to the temple to see Lord Jagannath, and taking lunch went on automatically. One day, while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking at Lord Jagannath in the temple, Lord Jagannath appeared to be personally Sri Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. One day, while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was looking at Lord Jagannath in the temple, Lord Jagannath appeared to be personally Sri Krishna, the son of Maharaj Nanda. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized Lord Jagannath to be Krishna himself, Lord Chaitanya's 5 senses immediately became absorbed in attraction for the 5 attributes of Lord Krishna. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu realized Lord Jagannath to be Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya's 5 senses immediately became absorbed in attraction for the 5 attributes of Lord Krishna. Just as a tug of war, the single mind of Lord Chaitanya was attracted in 5 directions by the transcendental attributes of the Lord. Thus, the Lord became unconscious. Just then, the Upala Bhog ceremony of Lord Jagannath concluded, and the devotees who had accompanied the Lord Chaitanya to the temple took him back home. That night, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was attended by Swarab Damodar Goswami and Ramananda Roy. Keeping his hands around their necks, the Lord began to lament. When Srimati Radharani was very much agitated due to feeling great separation from Krishna, when Srimati Radharani was very much agitated, feeling great separation from Krishna, when Srimati Radharani was very much agitated due to feeling great separation from Krishna, when Srimati Radharani was very much agitated due to feeling great separation from Krishna, she spoke a verse to Vishaka. She spoke a verse to Vishaka explaining the cause of her great anxiety and restlessness. She spoke a verse to Vishaka explaining the cause of her great anxiety and restlessness. Reciting that verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed his burning emotions. Reciting that verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expressed his burning emotions. Then with great lamentation he explained the verse to Swarab Damodar and Ramananda Roy. Then with great lamentation he explained the verse to Swarab Damodar and Ramananda Roy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, though the hearts of the gopis are like high-standing hills, though the hearts of the gopis are like high-standing hills, they are inundated by the waves of the nectarian ocean of Krishna's beauty. They are inundated by the waves of the ocean, of the waves of the nectarian ocean of Krishna's beauty. His sweet voice enters their ears and gives them transcendental bliss. The touch of his body is cooler than millions and millions of moons together, and the nectar of his bodily fragrance overfloods the entire world. O my dear friend, that Krishna, who is the son of Maharaj Nanda Maharaj, and whose lips are exactly like nectar, is attracting my five senses by force. Be right back. I gotta shut the generator. Krishna, Krishna.
Lalita.
Krishna, Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hari, Hari.
Maharaj, the next time you blow your nose, do not do it in the microphone.
Hare Krishna.
It's a symptom, Corona. Come on, man.
What you say?
It's a symptom of ecstasy. It's gone.
Hare Krishna. Ah. Lord Krishna's beauty, the sound of his words and vibration of his flute, his touch, his fragrance, and taste of his lips are full of indescribable sweetness. When all these features attract my five senses at once, my senses all ride together on the single horse of my mind. My dear friend, please hear the cause of my misery. All right. Hare Krishna, that's enough, I guess. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Bluetooth mode.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Back to chanting. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Here we go. This is for Karuna, honor of Karuna's lips. Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari 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 Rama 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 Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Hare Krishna 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 Hari Hare Rama Rama Hari Hari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nityananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Nanda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Chananda Gauranga Chananda Gauranga Chananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Chananda Gauranga Nityananda Gauranga Chananda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Krishna Chaitanya, Shri 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 Krishna Chaitanya, Chaitanya, Shri Krishna 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Anya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Krishna Chaitanya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Krishna Chaitanya, Krishna Chaitanya, Shri 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 Krishna Chaitanya, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. How's it going over there, Govinda?
It's going sound. I just come out to get some water, and this is a nice little encampment. I'll show you under the bridge.
All right.
You'll see in a minute. Oh, yeah, it's going sound. It's going really well. I can't believe so many people are so favourable, even in the house. Like my friend Evans, he phoned me from Africa today. He went back to Africa. He's chanting Hare Krishna in the streets over there. And he's really enthused. He's really appreciative. He's really into what we're doing. And more than what I actually realized, he's so attracted to what's going on here.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's just,
Who is
Yeah.
this? Who is this?
Evans.
Evans. He comes. Does he come and watch?
He doesn't come the whole class. He dips into the classes. He's listening. He's reading. He's reading your book, Prabhupada book. He's reading and he asks me questions. He's interested. He's favorable. Yeah.
Does he's an African guy?
He's an African guy. He's gone back to Ghana and he's up in the mountains. It's really beautiful where he is. It's just like India. Just like, you know, when you go out and you buy your food from people's houses.
Yeah.
Nobody seems to be wearing masks up in the mountains. They're all just,
This
they're
being
aware.
wow.
Yeah, it's great, man.
Yeah.
Says, yeah, this is fantastic, Guru Maharaj. This is so beautiful. I love every day. I love every day. It's just great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How's it going over there, Lolita? Did you take a bath in the toilet? Austerities, huh?
It's a never-ending story, Carola. It's a never-ending story. Getting worse and worse. And I'm just suggesting, because I'm carrying this Lord, I survive everything.
Yeah, with devotion, you can do anything.
You say about it. I don't care.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? I mean, you need something like that nowadays. You need to be lifted up, man. You know, just because if you don't, it's a pretty depressing on all sides. You know.
Yeah, there would be a fight every day, but
Yeah.
I don't feel like fighting, really.
No. Yeah, I mean, you know, to me, it's just the more and more attraction just to chanting the holy name is really the solution, the real solution. Worshiping the Lord in ecstasy and being lifted, and I think that's what lifts the planet up too. It lifts a vibration. It's a vibrational thing. Because it's, you know, when the vibration is low, then our consciousness is low. It's just, see, so the vibration is high, deep, you know, is transcendental, then everything becomes transcendentalized. It's really the secret is vibration. You know?
Yeah.
Being carried. People are unhappy because they've lowered the vibration by their basically by their word, but there's being spoken. It's a very demoniac sound, you know. So, you know, one of terror and fear. It's like going to watch a horror movie every day and being scared, you know. Meditating on horror movies, you know, and yeah, even the movies are getting that way more and more. You know, they're really dark. You notice they're very dark. Everything's dark. Yeah. So anyway, but this lifts it up, and this is the, you know, this is how to do it, man.
Yeah, it's a pill. It's a pill that you take every day.
Yeah.
You look through different glasses and
yeah.
Such a change.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, people fighting this thing, they're realizing they have to address it spiritually, you know, and they're talking about even doctors. The one doctor's going around, and at first he was really heavy into this, and then he realizes he's lowering his vibration. He's very unhappy, and then he started to meditate and trying to raise that vibration. And they're doing it's kind of it's like child, you know, they're just trying to do it and this way, that way, and everything. If they really understood this amazing path, it would be so much easier for them, and they would actually make tremendous headway. But anyway, you know, it is what it is. People are doing what they do. We're doing what we do.
It's really a solution for depressions. I've never been depressed, but I realized that I was not really happy either.
Yeah.
Because you live in an illusion. You make yourself here happy. You force yourself happy in that illusion. But now there is a
Yeah. It's to do with the word. It's you know, ultimately chanting. You meditate on Krishna's name, and you get that you're tuned to the vibration of Krishna. He's happy. There's no material modes, even in his separation. All that, those are all transcendental mellows, and so people depressed, I always see people that are unhappy. It's always, you know, they're meditating on it. It's just they're talking about it. It's a very strong thing. It's like an emotional bond because of habit, of conditioning, and so an association. So it's that's really the thing. That's why after a while I just tell the devotees, okay, you want to be happy, keep then you transcendentally, yeah, you got to meditate on that. You want to be unhappy, well, keep, you know, trying to, you know, feed that one, you know, feed that meditation of your misery and how it is to be miserable and or a victim. That's a big thing now. It's what's happening. The vibration in the world is in this victim mentality. It's you know, it's signified by the Democrats and the left, far left. They're babies. They're little like real babies, very silly. You know, it's like very immature, and they're running the country.
very destructive.
They're,
Really,
yeah, they're like having like these mischievous babies running the world. These are the elites. They're like that. They're very mischievous, very childish and immature, and they're running the country. That's demons. Demons are like they're very childish and immature, very mischievous. They're like these nature spirits, very mischievous. And yeah, so that's why everything's, you know, is on that vibration. You know, it's very you know, a lot of making people are becoming unhappy. And well, anyway, this is a way to change it. This is the solution. Yeah. So I'll just read a little bit more here. So, pastimes in the house of Advaitacharya. All glories to Vishwambara, the Lord of the Vaishnava devotees. You bring the living entities back to your fold by giving them devotional service. Isn't that the truth? See? So the Lord brings us back by giving them devotional service. And again, that's how he continues the line, is through the parampara system. See? He through the devotee, the flutes, you know, like the Pied Piper, he brings them back by giving them devotional service through those devotees' association. Because, you know, that's how you attune to it. Otherwise, you know, yeah, so anyway, that's it, man. That's it, the essence. So the Lord performed. What is going on here? Okay. The Lord performed his super mundane pastimes in Navadweep, hidden from the vision of the gross materialists. The Lord performed his super mundane supra mundane pastimes. Let's look up that word supra. Does anybody know what that means? Supra.
I think it's Madhu Mangal's wife, Suprabha.
Yeah. Supra means okay, that didn't do it. Okay. Supra, definition. Supra, a prefix meaning above. Above. Over. Yeah, I like that. Supra, above mundane. Okay. See, supra, above the mundane. And that's what it is. See, that's Shuddha Bhakti. It's above the mundane, the material. And again, that's why, Sadhu Sangha is so great, because we get above the mundane this way by tuning into the vibration of Lord Chaitanya and his pastimes, Radha and Krishna and their pastimes. See? So, and that's if you don't get above the mundane, how can you be really happy? How can you be actually free? This is the problem. People can't get above the mundane platform of consciousness. See, they're trying and trying. This is what Jesus said, the doorway, the doorkeeper. They get you above the mundane consciousness because they're in that spiritual consciousness. They live in that place. See, they teach from that platform. How can you teach how to get above the mundane when your consciousness is not above the mundane? It doesn't make sense. You have to lift people, see, by your own consciousness, by what you speak. It's just like the Christians, they noticed this too. And when they got the Holy Spirit, they were lifted above the mundane. And they could see, oh, these people, they're acting like worldly people. See, the Holy Spirit of devotion lifts you above the mundane. See? Otherwise, you're just like a worldly person. You think like a world. You think about the world, and everything is about the world.
It's another kingdom.
Yeah, it's the kingdom of the world, and then they got the kingdom of God. See, the God we speak, think about God. It's like Krishna in his pastimes. He told Rukmini, he said, actually, we don't, and he was talking about we as basically him and his devotees. We don't care about family life and children and world and all that. We just think about God. We just go around, wander around, think about God. See, that's the kingdom of God is within at hand. See, it's a consciousness of above the mundane. See, this is why it's like hard to understand, because when you're in the mundane, how do you understand something transcendental? The only possibility is sadhu sangha. You got to associate with transcendentally situated persons. See, who love the supra mundane pastimes of God. See, they're attracted to it. They're attached to it. This is the only practical way. That's why, what is this? You have all these gurus and sannyasis and everything. Unless they're attracted to the transcendental pastimes of the Lord and understand them without speculation, they're not lifted above it. I mean, I hear these guys giving classes on Chaitanya Charitamrita. I just heard one the other day. And oops. Okay, battery's low. And the devotees, it's just a pious thing. They realize, well, this is the scriptures. We should read it. They don't understand it. But they get some lifting. There's something there because you get the vibrate, you get some emanation from the scripture. Okay? But can you imagine those devotees if they can just admit that they don't understand, like a devotee who chants the holy name in ecstasy and lift it up to the platform, if they could just admit that they're like ducks among swans. A swan is a person who chants the holy name in great ecstatic devotion and chants these pastimes lifted up above the mundane and lifts other people demonstratively. But the scholars, they're so puffed up, basically, they won't listen to those devotees. See? So the Lord, just like here in the verses we read, I think we just read a verse. Anyway, so anyway, this is the path. You got to ultimately, if you hear from devotees who are lifted already, and they lift themselves up even simply by chanting the glories of the Lord. See, and so that's the secret. Yeah. So the Lord performed his supra-mundane pastimes in Navadvip, hidden from the vision of the gross materialists. So even back then, they were isn't it amazing? They were gross materialists. The Lord came here and actually mingled amongst gross materialists. And they couldn't see what was going on, just like now. Even the Vaishnavas, they can't see what's going on here, because this is above the mundane platform. The only hope is they run across a class and Krishna shows them, hey man, you're missing out. Just like they were missing out 500 years ago. The gross materialists couldn't understand what was going on. Well, even the student community couldn't understand what was going on. And the Lord said, if they don't accept this movement, accept him and his devotees' presence in this world, if they don't accept it, they're going to stay in that cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, if they do accept, they will be delivered. So ultimately, when the student community and everybody else began to accept Lord Chaitanya, their consciousness was raised above the mundane, just simply by association, by tuning in. See, instead of tuning into these mundane level, the mundane teachers, speculators, people who are reading even these books, but are not lifted above the mundane. They're still on the ceremonial level, external bhakti. It's like Lord Chaitanya demonstrated this. When Ramananda Roy, he was a supra-mundane person. He was above the mundane, his consciousness. See? When he started speaking on the mundane platform of Varnashram Dharma, which is mode of goodness, and glorifying the mode of goodness as the only way to attain God, the Lord said, no, go deeper. Give me a deeper. Give me a deeper understanding of the truth. See, above the mundane, above Varnashram Dharma, mode of goodness. Give me something that is actually a vibration that's representing the spiritual platform and not the platform of goodness, even. I want to go above the mundane. See, Varnashram is that. The Bhagavatam's all about that. Bhagavatam started when Narada Muni gave the direction of how to teach now above the mundane platform and satisfy your own heart. See? Prabhupada actually, he was not that happy when he disappeared. I talked to a godbrother, and he wasn't so happy because many of his disciples were not lifted above the mundane. Because, and a lot of it's just, that's the preliminary work. It's hard work. Vaidhi Bhakti is hard work. Building temples is hard work. See? So one of his godbrothers, OBL Kapoor, I talked to him. He says, Prabhupada was a little bit like, well, we did the work, but in the future, somebody else is going to have to carry it on. Okay? And so this is kind of like, this is the gravy part here, because all we do here is just talk about the confidential pastimes of the Lord and are lifted ourselves and others who hear above the mundane and are now our sinful reactions are purified like that, and we feel more happy, more free. See? Instead of like, okay, let's have a class about Varnashram Dharma. This is the thing with devotees. They want to keep it in the past, and they think that's it. No, we got to move deeper into this. Just like, like when I hear devotees quote verses that Prabhupada peppered in to his preaching, that reflect the deeper truth. I love it. It's really great. Thank you. Because it lifts us above the mundane by that preaching. And it's important. So he went to different devotees' homes and engaged in pleasurable pastimes with Nityananda, Gadadhar, and other associates. The Lord is the source of all spiritual ecstasy for the devotees. And in his association, they see everything in relationship to Krishna. See, so that's the idea of chanting. This is the thing. Krishna and Lord Chaitanya is the source of the ecstasy of the devotee. That's why they chant. Isn't that it? It's so simple, isn't it? And that's the association you need, where Krishna is the source of the ecstasy of a devotee. That's proof that they're a real devotee and not an imitator, imposter, or a wannabe. Bottom line is, if you chant the holy name and you become ecstatic because of that, you then shows that you're a devotee in alignment with these verses. See, that verse is explaining what a devotee is. See? Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya is the source of ecstasy for those devotees. And ecstasy means a phenomenon. Yeah? Source of ecstasy. What does that look like? Well, that's the tears, the crying, the laughter, and all this stuff. They're the source of that. See? They're attuned to that. They're communing with the Lord. They've surrendered. That's called surrender to the Lord. Okay? So the simple is, like Lord Bhakti Vinod talked about this. He said, a person's spiritual advancement is not on how many disciples you have or how many people say, oh, Gurudev, you're so great. So how many followers you got or how much big knowledge you got, PhDs and all that stuff. It's not your spiritual advancement as a spiritual master or guru or spiritual leader is not based on what vote you got in there to get in there or how many rules you followed, how strictly you followed the program, that you chanted your rounds dedicatedly for 25 years or 40 years. Oh, he spiritually chanted his rounds for 25 years. No. It's based on this. How much ecstasy do you get in associating with Krishna's name? Because, bottom line is, how much ecstasy do you get? And if you got real ecstasy, it's transcendental. It's pure. It's purifying. It uplifts you and anybody else who is favorable to your association. They can become eternally liberated just by a person who gets ecstasy in chanting Lord Chaitanya's pastimes and name. They can become eternally liberated just from that. You don't believe it? Anybody out there? Well, the verse confirms it. In chapter 7 of Anjalila, even a fallen conditioned soul can be eternally liberated by the association of a devotee who is like a bumblebee at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. If you're a bumblebee, that means you're getting ecstasy and you like it and you want to be close to that honey, right? Okay? So this is the method here. This is why people are getting liberated. Simply because this verse is true in actuality. It's actualized. It's an actual fact here. So people it's not just a theory. It's not just in the book. It's not maybe this is a mythology, this book. People can say, oh, wow, it's a formula. It works. It's scientific. This process of Krishna Gan is very scientific. See? A fallen conditioned soul. If millions of Vaishnavas understood even one of these classes, and the way is, you have to listen to people have some realization. So their actual experience, their actual spiritual masters, and what in their actual work in this world, it's productive, it's effective. See, then you can get. Otherwise, what are you doing around people just talking about Krishna, and there's no effectiveness? Have you been? I have godbrothers who have taken these spiritual masters in ISKCON. They're more or less the same as they were for 40 years now. They haven't changed, man. They still got envy, jealousies, and they're just doing the rules and regulations. They haven't been lifted above to the supra-mundane platform. They haven't been lifted yet. Yeah, go ahead. I have to do it. Whoops, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. What use does it have to talk about Krishna if you don't have him really in your midst? If talking about Krishna has Srila Prabhupada said this with a goal, with a purpose.
Yeah.
To bring him in your midst, and it's not about how many disciples do you have, but what are the realizations of your disciples? What do they tell? How do they talk about their guru? What's happening in this sangha?
Yeah, I mean, this is how things will get clear in our discussions. This is how things will get clear in our discussions. Okay, Karuna, you got to mute your microphone because it's not muting. Karuna, mute your friggin' microphone. Otherwise, I got to remove you there. It's disturbing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's I forgot what I was talking about. This is a problem with these things here. Okay.
Shall I repeat what I said?
Yeah, repeat what you said. Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, you said it's not about how many disciples you have, and I added, yeah, but it's about what are the realizations of your disciples by your association, by how are they growing into their Krishna consciousness?
Yeah.
Is the
That's
Lord
about
in their midst? Oh, Karuna, bring Guru Maharaj back.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna,
I can't
Hare
find him.
Krishna,
Sorry, he escaped.
Krishna,
Ah,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Ram,
Ram Ram, Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare
Haba
Hare.
haba 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 haba
Krishna
haba
Krishna,
haba
Hare
haba
Hare,
haba
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Ram Ram,
Krishna, Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Hare Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram, Hare
Ram,
Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
yeah. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay.
All right, mute your microphones.
Srila Gaura Hari Das, Srila Gaura Hari Das, Srila Gaura Hari Das,
Mute your
Srila Gaura
microphones.
Hari. Oh, no, he's back.
Yeah. Yeah, I just forgot to plug this thing in. So it wasn't charging. Ran out of battery. Yeah. Yeah, so if more Vaishnavas would understand the real process, people they're not clear about it. You need to have that clarity. That's what I noticed by listening to classes of devotees who are preaching about what they're reading. They need a little more clarity. See, I've been talking about this stuff for years. And with people now for 3 years, we've had very deep discussions about this. This is why when this stuff is written down, this will give millions of devotees will be liberated in this life. It's just about getting devotees understanding the gravity of what's going on here and engaging in service. If anybody is having trouble, oh, I'm having trouble getting, well, do some work, man. Follow the process. If you are having problems getting, transcendental or all this, well, follow problem. You get regular classes in Bhagavatam talking all about this and service to the pure devotee. Hey, man, serve the mission. Learn how to do the computer, transcribe these plans, put them in books, all that stuff. Otherwise, don't complain to me while you're not following the science. If a person's already above this and is getting the result, great. It's effective already for them. Who knows what they've done in their other lifetimes? But if any person's having trouble, like being steady in devotional service, do some work, man. Do like that. And anybody transcribing these classes is going to be in bliss. I've seen it already. You want to be ecstatic and bliss? Well, get your booty in motion. And then you'll become steady in this. You'll be meditating on words that are transcendental, explanations that nobody's even heard before. You'll become very deeply attracted. I mean, Govinda knows what I'm talking about. It's all, that's how it works. So stop complaining, anybody, that, oh, I don't know, and I'm on my mind and all this. I'm not clear. Yeah. Well, get to work, They'll get you off drugs and all these things, whoever, is into this. And you'll see this is the best drug. This is the best drug, is ecstatic worship of the Lord. Meditating, when you're transcribing, you're fully there. Your body's there, your mind is there, and you're hearing. See, like it's very deep engagement. I've seen people, and then they give it up. I've seen this. People, like I had my ex, she used to be a great transcriber in bliss all the time, and then she gives it up to go and make flowers for the deity and do nothing for practical preaching. Stupidest thing in the world. But I see, sometimes it's the way it is. Unfortunate. People do dumb things. It was always ecstatically blissful and engaged in the work, and then it goes into this crazy thing. And others also, they go in different things. They go and want to do their own mission. They want to be a big teacher and all these things. Okay, well, go out. Krishna said, go out. Okay? So while I'm here, we have a chance, to be focused, to work together. And I can comment on these things and say, come on, that's going off. Otherwise, if I'm not here, you just go off and you don't usually come back for a whole lifetime. That's what, even people go off now. They don't listen anyway. They just stay off. They go, why is this? Okay, battery's running low. Oh, I see. Okay, sorry. I got to run out there and start the generator. If it goes off, I'll be back on it.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Are you here to take this off the machine?
Krishna Krishna,
20 minutes. Look at you jumping.
Hare Ram,
she's trying to get off. Oh.
Hare Ram,
I do, yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna,
Drop
Krishna,
take me, Jesus, to the goalpost of love.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that a little bit. You know, I just get a little agitated sometimes. I have some slow learners in the group. It's probably me. I'm the slowest learner. Okay. Back to the pastimes. So, he went to different devotees' homes and was engaged in pleasurable pastimes with Nityananda, Gadadhar, and other associates. The Lord is the source of all spiritual ecstasy for the devotees. And in his association, they see everything in relationship to Krishna. So that's really the bottom line, isn't it? You know, this is what we're doing. If we see everything in Krishna and in relationship to Krishna by being around devotees. That's our sadhu sangha. We just talk about how everything is in relationship to Krishna. It's practically too, you know, the world, how it's in relationship, you know, how the Shad and Bill Gates and the Fauci's, and very practical. Prabhupada did that. He was expert in that.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Come on,
Hare
Hare
Maharaj. Get your ass
Krishna,
together.
Hare
Come on.
Hare,
Get together. Come
Hare
on.
Hare
Krishna,
Rama, Hare Rama,
I got him. I got
Rama
him.
Hare
Rama,
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Rama Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Rama Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Rama
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Rama,
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Rama,
Krishna, Krishna
We're
Hare
back.
Rama.
Didn't
I
have the
just
thing,
speak.
didn't have the thing quite plugged in. Okay, mute your mics.
Yeah. That's what you say. You're like Krishna. You run away and leave us all behind.
So, okay. So all right, we read that. That's really great. Okay, they were completely oblivious of the phenomenal world because they were engrossed in relishing the transcendental mellows of chanting the holy names of Krishna. They have no other business. So there you go, man. See, this how they were lifted up above that then. This is why this is a desire, a dire necessity now. It wasn't as bad as it is now then. You know, they had some kind of sanity there. You know, here it's becoming totally insane, man. Really. There, you know, the motive, that was more in the early time before, you know, it was early in the time of Kali. The people were still a lot of good people, and all this were in control, more or less, you know, of course, you know. But even the kings like Maharaj Prataparudya, he was a saintly king. You know, he we're worshiping Lord Jagannath and stuff like this, is a godly. See, but now, holy mackerel, it's really things change. So we really need this, the power of the name to transcend. See? So oblivious to the phenomenal world because they are engrossed in relishing the transcendental mellows of chanting. See, so you got to reach the point of relishing transcendental mellows to get above, see, the mundane. It's why it's very important for sadhu sangha to be around devotees where their vibration is chanting these names in ecstasy. And we get above the mundane that way. So foremost amongst these intimate associates of the Lord is Advaita, Acharya. His character is unfathomable, and only a few devotees know his transcendental position and how close he is to the Lord. Whenever Chaitanya came out of his ecstatic trances, he would immediately render service to the assembled Vaishnavas, especially Advaitacharya. These dealings of the Lord were the cause of Advaita's constant discontent. His hurt feelings rumbled in his mind like an active volcano. He thought, he is constantly deceiving me like a thief. He gives up his position and tries to stealthily catch my feet. I cannot match his strength, for he is supremely powerful. So he forcibly takes the dust from my feet. The only support for me to fall back on is devotional service, because it bestows spiritual realization and vision to recognize the Supreme Lord. Isn't that amazing? What a great understanding. See, pure devotional service bestows spiritual vision. See, that's the understanding of Bhagavad Gita 10:10. He's speaking like that, right in alignment with that, and put it in a beautiful way, very unique way. See, he forcibly takes the dust from my feet. The only support for me is to fall back upon devotional service, because it bestows spiritual realization and vision to recognize the Supreme Lord. We cannot really recognize Krishna without engagement in pure devotional service. This Vaidhi process is to get you to the point to gradually recognize the Lord. And that, see, by the grace of Krishna and you doing Vaidhi Bhakti, you get Guru. Okay? And by the grace of Guru, then you get Krishna. See, they give you the detail work. See? So that's the process. A lot of people didn't make it with Krishna, with Prabhupada yet, because they need more shiksha. They need this kind of shiksha. See? To get them to the point of engagement, of the awakening of Bhakti Lata Bij, pure devotional attachment to the Lord. Just pure attachment, and that bestows spiritual realization. The more you just hearing, chanting, you're watering this, the seed grows. See, more realization grows. The more you appreciate Krishna, the more you appreciate ecstatic worship. Okay? The more you live on that, like devotees live on that, the more attached you become to Krishna and his name and his pastimes. Because it's just like he was here. That's all we got, man. That's the boat we got. Okay? Without that attachment, we can't get liberated. Go ahead there. Did you want to say something there, Govinda?
Yeah, just like if you break down, realize it's real eyes. Realize.
Real
eyes.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. See, Krishna gave you a great understanding. See, all these things, this is the Lord. He speaks through the words, and many things that we don't know consciously, and then gradually we become conscious of, like realize. That's what it's about, isn't it? Realize the Lord. Oh, that's great, man. Make a song about that one. Wrap that one out. Yeah. Real eyes. That's exactly what it. People's eyes are not real. They're not seeing reality. They're seeing conditioned world, the illusions, twisted, everything. Temporary world, and all these things. Okay? So this bestows real eyes on it. That's why if we don't have real eyes, we can't see what's an illusion. You gotta see reality. See reality. Realizing. See, so people say, well, I create my own reality. So this is a new age idea. Yeah, I create my reality. So I, live in a great reality because I'm visualizing all these things. Yeah, is that an attunement with the Lord's reality? Well, I am the Lord. See, this speculation, these kind of things. Yeah, I'm here a creator, and I'm here to create planets and all that stuff. See, so no, see, the thing is, reality is actually eternal reality. Eternal reality is the way it is, as it is already. See, we got to just attune to that reality, which is eternal. Okay? And not something that we're imagining. This is what they do in the movies. They imagine the scenarios and all this. And it's all imagination. Okay? It's all like it's people are only just creative people. All they're doing is they get ideas, and this is all the speculations of Mahavishnu dreaming. You ever have a dream? All these things go through your mind and all that. So this is Mahavishnu's dream, and people are picking up on it, tuning to it. It's all called illusion. See, it's a dream. See, we wake up attuning to Krishna's transcendental reality. This is what this is all about. There's devotees there. Devotees get ecstatic, being in the transcendental presence of the Lord. The transcendental presence of the Lord came here personally as Jesus Christ, as Lord Chaitanya, as Radha and Krishna. See? The devotees that were with them were very ecstatic, very happy transcendentally. They live with the Lord forever. See, that's real. That's real. See, that if you're not in line with that, you're in the illusion. See, your mind is speculating, creating all these temporary realities, and then you die, and then you come back and you get another body and keep speculating and create all these other realities. You're not in tune with the true one. It's the same thing even on the Vaidhi level. Okay, you're starting to come into attunement, but not really yet. See? You got to become a real devotee, and that means you got to sometime associate with real devotees expressing their real truth of what they are and what Krishna really is, not hiding it. Well, Krishna's so confidential that we can't show any of that. You'll never know the Lord. Sorry. See? And then see, that's what's been doing. The recent acharyas were like that because of necessity. Look why, even now, people, what we're doing here escapes them. They're seeing people by mantra getting ecstatic, chanting the Lord's name, so showing that these persons are real devotees. They've got the real result of devotional service. And just by associating with them, you can attune to that platform, be eternally liberated. All the verses live through those devotees in life. Any fallen conditioned soul, which is everybody in this world, you could be a Vaidhi Bhakti, but if you're not tasting the super mundane pastimes of the Lord in his name and his pastimes, his qualities by mantra, you're still mundane. Okay? And you can be eternally liberated simply by associating with the devotees who are like bumblebees in these pastimes because they got the result. It gives them transcendental happiness. It raises their vibration above the mundane. They live in transcendental consciousness. You could be there also if you accept them, if you accept their association, if you believe their word. See, their real eyes. See, we see through the eyes of Scripture. But if you speculate, you're not quite seeing properly, are you? The Pharisees didn't, the Brahmins don't, and the sannyasis don't if they're only on that level. Go ahead.
Yeah, and when I was transcribing something you said, Guru Maharaj, really deep as well, talking about the multi-universes, and then you said multiverses, and it's the word, isn't it? I took from
Yeah,
that. You see, these classes are so deep when you transcribe them that
yeah.
I wouldn't have noticed that without the transcribing. I was like, wow, multiverses. That's it. The words are
Multiverses. Yeah,
multiverses, multi-universes, multiverse.
yeah. Yeah, there, each verse is like a universe. You know, it's like that's why they're
It
so
is
wonderful. You know, Bhakti Siddhanta would give a class on one verse every day for a month.
one word
Yeah, one
be,
word. You know, just
can
yeah,
be as deep as when Krishna opens his mouth. One word.
yeah.
Oh, oh
These
Krishna,
words, see, these words are his mouth. See, and you just got to hear them sung. It's like a singer singing a song. You know, they're singing. If the song is of God, see, Bhagavad Gita is song of God. So a singer sings that song. That's a devotee singing that song, and but they're the word of God. You know, they're the words of God, and they're meant to be sung. So devotees like to sing those songs. That's how they attune to that vibration. They like to be with their Lord. See, the Lord is in his word, in his name. See? So you want to be like that, you have to hear from the real devotees. They got to be real. They got to be a supra mundane, above the mundane. Okay? So, and ultimately, the way you can see it is how many disciples that are coming and listening to you are being raised above the mundane. You know, I mean, there's people that are different levels, but you should see people. The Lord will attract those who are ready to just go right there really quickly, and that's the proof is in the pudding. Otherwise, when you're above the mundane, you're not going to be attracted to mundane persons, even if it's a guru. Would you be attracted to a mundane guru now? Yeah. See, so that's the secret. Then you could see who's really realized or not. You got real eyes. Okay? You realize because you know what is reality. Highest reality is the truth, is the highest truth, distinguished from illusion. Illusion is anybody that's still mundane. Doesn't matter what they can have. The world is like that. They give titles. Look at all these politicians. They're not really qualified. They're all in there because they have material motives. They can't really help people very well. You know, a lot of them they're in it for only the money and all these material motives. You got people in religion like that. Or are you going to believe that all these people in ISKCON are above the mundane? Come on, man. You know, you got to prove it. Let's prove it. Let's see it. Let's hear your real eyes. Let's see what real eyes you got, realizations you've got. You know, this is the thing. Bottom line is not putting up props, you know, putting up, well, you see PhDs and look, I can memorize the verses, and look at me, I got the cloth, or look at me, I've got the people say I'm Guru Dev.
the preachings are dead.
Yeah, preachings are dead. Where's the life in the preaching, man? Where's the real eyes? You know, if you're an owl, see, even back then, these books were being preached by Krishna Das Kaviraj, and he says a lot of people were just, even back then, like owls. They only see the darkness. They see in the darkness. See, they see in it. You got to see in Krishna, okay? In Krishna's transcendental form and pastimes, and see, so that takes ecstatic ecstasy, because it pure devotional service gives us the realization, the realize. Okay, and you want those, you got to be associated with realized devotees. Otherwise, what is this proof that you're a realized devotee? You don't associate a realized devotee. You know how rare a realized devotee is in this world, a devotee who knows Krishna? They're like 1 in a million. And that's why I say, if people don't realize the glory that's going on in this sangha, what the Lord is dumping on us and dumping through us, then you know you're still mundane. I don't care how big a title you got; it doesn't mean anything to me. Oh, you're offending pure devotees. No, I'm not. No offense there. You know, If anything, I'm helping you and Krishna preach real Krishna consciousness world. Teaching people the highest truth is realized devotees with real eyes, because they are ecstatic when they chant Krishna's name. That is the truth. I'm helping out here, man. People don't realize that. They don't have real eyes. Their gurus don't have real eyes, therefore they don't either. It's the blind leading the blind. Blind guides. Haven't you heard Jesus say that? That's why we repeat it. It's always the same problem. People don't have real eyes. They're all looking at illusion. They're all in darkness until they can understand this kind of preaching. This preaching is here. This preaching is solid. This preaching is established. Now, you don't accept this? Well, you'll come back into samsara, because it's only by associating with this rare preaching in this world where you can see with your real eyes if you got them. If you don't, you're looking in the darkness like an owl, because those who look with real eyes given by Krishna in their hearts will realize how important this is, will realize how great this association is. I do. That's why I come here every day. The Lord is in the midst of us. You know what that means? Mist, in the mist. It's tangible. It's a spirit. It's a mist. It's a God, you can almost feel it, man. It's like a cloud, a mist. See, in the midst of us. Isn't that amazing now, Krishna?
I always use the same picture also, the cloud.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's the cloud, the mist. He's in the midst
Mystical.
of us. Mystical. Yeah, mystical too.
Yeah. You can touch him inside and around.
The spiritual senses do. That's what we're doing. We're touching the Lord. He's touching us. This communication, and this gets more. The mist gets stronger and more thick, to the point people can start to say, "I'm getting fogged out, man." And people start to feel it after a while. They start to get what we're talking about here.
Condensed milk.
Yeah. This is a sacrifice. This here is it's like, here we have these discussions, very powerful. Yeah. This gives life. People get life from Prabhupada's books. Can you imagine having books that explain all these things? And also hear them preached by persons who have real eyes. Hey. Yeah, amazing. Okay, I'm going to turn my heat on because I'm getting cold here. I'll be right there.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. I'm really happy that many devotees have helped here. I have a generator. I have this place to broadcast from, nice equipment and stuff. Thank you very much, because it really makes our show go good. So now the generator's going. It's keeping everything afloat. Otherwise, place to stay, a heater, so we can continue this Sadhu Sangha program. Broadcasting station. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So the only support for me to fall back on is devotional service, because it bestows spiritual realization and vision to recognize the Supreme Lord, Vishwambara, as he is. People call me Advaita, the lion-hearted, and I become further deluded by this. O Lord, kindly destroy this delusion. Isn't that amazing? Why would they call him the lion-hearted? Because he was like that. His heart was like a lion, man. And he expressed himself. It was so much so, a lot of people thought he was in the mode of ignorance. Huh? Why are you getting angry, Advaita? Well, he just got angry at atheists. He just got angry at illusion, which is natural for devotees. That's how they destroy it. Hey. Dwaita has a little Shiva in him there.
I love those pictures. There's many paintings of Advaita Acharya by Ganga Mata calling out for Satan. I love those. I can just look at them for hours. Yeah.
In your pastimes with Brigo, you are more glorious than Brigo. So Lalita Ganga, my voice is kind of giving out a little bit. You got any? You got Chaitanya Bhagavat there?
Yes, I do.
So go to Madhya Lila chapter 19.
Pastimes in the house of Advaita Acharya. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master, Srila Gaura Haridas Maharaj Acharya. I offer my respectful obeisance unto the lotus Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Jagannath Babaji, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, Vishwambara, Nimai Pandit. All glories to you. All glories to Radharani. And all glories to Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All glories, all glories to Sri Vishwambara, the Lord of all the Vaishnava devotees. You bring the living entities back to your fold by giving them devotional service. The Lord performed his supramundane pastimes in Navadvip, hidden from the vision of the gross materialists. He went to different devotees' homes and he engaged in pleasurable pastimes with Nityananda. And other associates. The Lord is the source of all spiritual ecstasy for the devotees. And in his association, they see everything in relationship to Lord Krishna. They are completely oblivious of the phenomenal world because they are engrossed in relishing the transcendental mellows of chanting the holy names of Krishna. They have no other business. Foremost amongst these intimate associates of the Lord is Advaita Acharya. His character unfathomable, and only a few devotees know his transcendental position and how close he is to the Lord.
Yeah, you know, this is the thing. If they were doing externally what we are doing internally, they were doing externally and internally. We're also doing externally and internally what they were doing. We're doing it by mantra now. See? So that's called sadhu sangha, and it's giving us the same experience of transcending the mundane world and getting this pleasure by being in Krishna, in his name, and his pastimes. This is called worship in separation. And this is our sampradaya is like that. It has to be. And that's how we get the relief from this. And this is the effective stage of devotional service. This is just like having the devotees that were here 500 years ago. You know, they were ecstatic devotees. They were advanced devotees. The Lord was here. And so that was going on effectively then, and it's going on again by mantra. And this is people's opportunity, because if they understand the value of this association, very quickly you can have your love of God awakened. Otherwise, it's a slow process. You know, you go a whole lifetime in Varnashram Dharma simply because your gurus aren't on this platform. They don't chant in this ecstasy. And your peers, the ones you associate with, are not on this platform. So how are you going to get off? It's very slow. Everybody's, snailing along. See? That's why Lord Chaitanya came here with his devotees. Just simply to so that people can have an acceleration, a quickening of their spiritual involvement. Whether it's very slow, generation after generation. That's why Jesus came. They have a quickening of their evolution. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya came, and now it's again revived. We got the quickening again. That's why people are getting ecstatic devotion. Okay? Wake up, sleeping souls now. You wake up from this dream. You get these dreams and everything. This is reality. This is a revival of what was here 500 years ago. This is an opportunity to get love of God again. Yeah, with Prabhupada, what is it? How can you get really love of God if he's not showing it? It wasn't time. People, it wasn't being given. But now it's being given on his order, on Krishna's approval. Lord Prabhupada's also. Yeah, so this is an opportunity, because what they were doing then, we're doing the same thing just by chanting the Lord's name. The Lord is showing he's actually here. He's taking the form of his name and manifesting in the hearts of these devotees in this sangha. So he's here. The devotees are here. Therefore, deliverance is here. Otherwise, it's not here. You got to see, it started with one devotee, Madhavinda Puri, worshiping his Lord by mantra in ecstasy. And then the Lord appeared to him in the dream saying, now I'm going to deliver the world. And it's the same thing now. Now the world is going to be delivered, because this is a revival again. I got the same kind of order. What came from Prabhupada and the blessing of Krishna, just like Madhavinda Puri. Just like Advaita. And so the Lord was there, and the Lord says, okay, Advaita, Nityananda, now you show this ecstasy even to the lowest patients. Whoever will accept it, they'll deliver them, give it to them. Okay, so that's it, a revival of that. And this is the truth, man. This is no dream, no pipe dream, no speculation. This is as it is. You can see in the experience of the Vaishnavas here. You're the witnesses. Yeah. So if people want deliverance, you can have it. How much do you really want Krishna? Are you willing to really study and check this out, or are you so weak from Maya and illusions and listening to gurus who haven't made it in their speculations and all that? Or are you really, does Krishna stir inside you? Because I'm just here, just like when Jesus said, I'm here to teach those who are taught by God. Same thing. We're here to teach those who are taught by God in your heart. Are you awakened enough, in touch enough that the Lord can get through and lead you here? See? or you jerked around by your mind and the minds of others in the Maya. This is what's that. People are jerked around by mental speculations of their own minds and others. They're attuned to that. Okay? But if they're guided somewhat in their heart, they can be directed here. Because the Lord wants to direct everyone, right? He wants to liberate everyone. Why wouldn't he? Is he not a magnanimous personality? So he's trying to get through on both sides. Here we're trying to convince people of that this is really real and truthful. This is very powerful. This is where you're going to get Krishna. And the Lord is also trying to get through from within. But sometimes he can't get through. There's so much static in the minds, the Maya. See? So anyway, those who do hear, they'll be attracted here. Because the Lord will say, oh God, yeah, this is what you've been looking for. There are people, they coming for Krishna, and they get into the Vaidhi level, and they because that's all that's available, right? So, you think this is the way to go. So they don't know any alternative. There's no alternative for them. So Prabhupada came to me, said, okay, give people an alternative. Those who really want Krishna in this life and prema and all that, they can come to you. If they can't get it, they can stay with the old program. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Foremost amongst these intimate associates of the Lord is Advaitacharya. His character is unfathomable, and only a few devotees know his transcendental position. And how can I say it to the Lord? Whenever Chaitanya came out of his ecstatic trances, he would immediately render service to the assembled Vaishnavas, especially to Advaitacharya. These dealings of the Lord were the cause of Advaita's constant discontent. His heart feelings rumbled in his mind like an active volcano. He thought, he's constantly deceiving me like a thief. He gives up his position and he tries to stealthily catch my feet. I cannot match his strength, for he is supremely powerful. So he forcibly takes the dust from my feet. The only support for me to fall back upon is devotional service, because it bestows the spiritual realization and vision to recognize the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord.
So Lalita Ganga could recognize this is by the bhakti. When she felt that bhakti awaken, then she could recognize that this was real. This is what she was looking for. See, this is why these kind of devotees are attracted. Some people come because they don't exactly know what's going on here, but they want relief and they feel that maybe they can get it. And so anyway, whoever the Lord tracks. So you see the devotees who really understand it's because of bhakti. Without this ecstatic devotion, we can't realize anything. See, so this is the Lord. The Lord is, to those who worship me with loving ecstasy, I give them the real understanding, the real knowledge. See, oh, this is real. This is the place to be. See, so because of her bhakti, she can understand. That's why from the beginning she got it, and she could preach like, these things. Of course, there was all that mountain of conditioning. She was a goody two shoes for you.
Not only that. Only that, also understanding your language.
Yeah, she didn't even understand.
And the understanding in the books. It was Chinese for me.
Yeah, it's amazing. Even
Still
now,
not.
she understands these things only because of bhakti.
Yeah,
And it gives you an edge, even though you may not understand the language that well. Still, you understand more than persons who understand the language but have no bhakti.
yeah. The question that I ask most of the time now to devotees is, did you ever felt prema? Did you ever experience this? And then they are so surprised. Why are you asking me if I ever felt prema? No, because they don't have this idea that they can receive it.
Yeah.
I have to explain it. You can receive it. You don't attain it.
Yeah, this is the way it's taught in Vaishnavism, because it's so you got to work for it. See, you got to work, and it's a lot. They teach it's in the script. There's a lot of work to it. You got to rise up to the platform of through all these anartha nivrittis, and it's yeah. Got to sneeze. Excuse me. Yeah. So it is available now. I mean, this is actually, see, the deeper scriptures we teach. Lord Chaitanya said, yeah, to attain prema is very hard, very difficult, many lifetimes. But then he looked over at Nityananda. Hey, there's an ecstatic devotee there. He's the head of the Sampradaya, man. But it's very easy by Nityananda's association. And this is, so that our parampara system, that's based on that. So people, they still don't know what is a real disciplic line until you actually see it in bloom. It has to be in bloom. Otherwise, this partial idea, see, Prabhupada giving a partial understanding still. So he's teaching Vaidhi. No, you got to see a real disciplic line as it was where it started 500 years ago. That means the devotee is there, Nityananda and Dvaita. They see our lines come from them, and then you see the ecstatic expression, and you see its transference. See, that's a real disciplic line. So if the current is in a line and it's ordered like it's been, you'll see the devotee, the ecstatic expression, and the relationship being taught. Oh, just a second. Oh. Be right there. Okay. Yeah. You'll see the devotee, the ecstatic expression there, and what was my point? I forgot because I went and touched it.
You have the understanding by the association of the ecstatic devotee.
Yeah. So basically, that's it. Yeah, I forgot the detail, but that's okay. All right, go ahead.
And I think I didn't understand the detail.
This is the problem. Sometimes if I get distracted, like somebody will pop up and say something, like some off the wall thing, and then all of a sudden I lose the whole mood and I can't, or I get distracted or I got to do the general, just anyway, we do the best we can.
It's perfect.
Lord Chaitanya would get distracted something, he'd be, and then else the devotee would go, somebody would say that, lost it. Okay, go ahead.
The only support for me to fall back upon is devotional service, because it bestows a spirit of realization and vision to recognize the Supreme Lord.
And he's talking about pure devotional service. See, this thing, just devotional service, Vaidhis are doing that, but they're not getting the realization.
No.
See, it's pure devotion. All I can fall back on is pure devotional worship of the Lord. It bestows the realization. Devotees always are, understanding. It's such a perfect verse. It's so truthful. It's so as it is. You know, without worshiping the Lord in this pure ecstatic communion, we will not get the right realization. So why not get it when it's here? You see, you need to hear from those devotees, and then very quickly you'll become purified. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
To know the Lord, the Supreme Lord Vishvambara. As he is. People call me Advaita, the lion-hearted, and I become further deluded by this. O Lord, kindly destroy this delusion. In your pastimes with Burgu, you are more glorious than Burgu, although some may think otherwise. Therefore, I shall gather about me hundreds of disciples like Burgu. Lord Chaitanya has appeared to explain the path of devotional service. And I will firmly oppose his instructions in my teaching to my new disciples. This will enrage the Lord so much that he himself will have to punish me,
Yeah.
catching me by the hair.
So there's a couple things, you know, that is taught by this. First of all, it's showing that the Mayavadi teaching does oppose the conclusion of pure devotional service. And so Advaita did a lot of stuff. It's hard to understand Advaita's mood because you think you shouldn't do that. Why do you do that and all this? But it's a beautiful pastime to show that the Lord punished Advaita for a teaching like this. In other words, you don't escape the punishment of the Lord by even being liberation. Even in liberation, there will be some punishment there, and just because you're not fully liberated. Matter of fact, you know, especially, you know where the punishment comes? When you start preaching against the form. See, it's offensive. See, I've seen it. When the Mayavadis and you preach about the glories of the form of the Lord, oh, they don't like it. And they say that's an illusion. So what? You know, the Lord's saying, oh, you're teaching that my form is illusion? So he punishes you. That's the way the Maya is. Maya is always punishing us, even up to liberation. Because that's why it's temporary. They say liberation is temporary because ultimately you fall down from it from offenses against the form. You're not see, if you don't believe in the form of the Lord, the transcendental form of the Lord, there's always possibility of fall down. And that's good because ultimately when you reach the ultimate truth, you never fall down because you know the ultimate truth. There's no illusion that can cause you to fall, not even liberation, thinking, well, God is formless. Yeah, well, that's only his energy. He's more than that. And then when you start preaching with your mouth, oh, God is formless and he's got no form, this angers, it's a pastime. The Lord in his transcendental anger will punish you. See, and he punished Advaita. When Advaita said, okay, I accept the truth. Now, bhakti is supreme. See? But a lot of his disciples didn't. And they left him. They left Advaita. But a lot of them didn't. See, so those who didn't, they got bhakti. It was like a transcendental trick because it's easier to be attracted to liberation, you know, than it is to the transcendental form of God. This is a great mystery. You have to just have somehow in you the Lord has to lead you to those devotees. Look at the Vaitis. They can't even be led to really ecstatic devotees who have really realized. It's hard for them to see them, recognize them. That's why they got to hide. Prabhupada had to hide. He had to act like a proud sannyasi, you see pictures of him. He walks, like regally and sits on a high seat and all that stuff, like these Pharisees like. Here's a trick.
Yeah. But he wanted to bring to the world actually what a spiritual master is, how important a real spiritual master is. Otherwise, people would
Well, yeah, there's
consider him
that.
as an ordinary man.
Yeah, there's that. There's so many sides to this. Yeah. And so yeah, there's that side, and there's the side that he was basically acting in a way that people can understand. See? But it's just like the Lord. He in Vaikuntha, he's acting a way that his devotees can understand. They don't understand him fully. They don't understand him in his Vrindavan mood. See? Because it's just not in their way of worship, in their understanding. But there's a deeper side to the Lord that they don't know. It's the same thing here. There's a deeper side to the Lord that the Vaidhi Bhaktas don't know. Okay? Until, the Lord leads them into this association. Okay? That's, just kind of just how it is. There's secrets. There's, because people, they don't want to know those secrets. You got to be like, I want to know these secrets, Lord, isn't that so? You got to learn from real devotees who are deep in this. Oh yeah, you want to learn the deep secrets of the Lord and realize who Krishna really is? Well, you got to engage in pure devotional service, and the only practical way to do that is to be around those engaged in pure devotional service, if you want to know these deeper secrets. Otherwise, you'll stay external. You'll just promote Varnashram Dharma and rules and regulations and ceremony and the hard work of doing pujas. And it's more work. It's not as free. It's not as cavalier. It's not as princely, It's more kingly. See, Lord Krishna was like the prince of Raj, and the princess was, because prince and princesses, they can play more, Kings, they got duties, that was for Nanda Maharaj.
He was a king.
He's got the duties, yeah. Princes, they are more free, yeah. So the Lord is like that. He just likes to freely roam in Vrindavan and just adventures and be close to his devotees, so much so that they don't know who he is. They think he's only their intimate friend, sport like that, such intimacy, and freedom. He likes that, and devotees like that there. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, those coward boys. This will enrage the Lord so much that he himself will have to punish me, catching me by the hair. Preoccupied by these plans, Advaita left Navadvip accompanied by Haridas Thakur, and he went to his home in Shantipur. There he began to act upon the theme. The Acharya began to read and explain a book called Yoga Vashista, which describes the impersonalistic thought and is thus clearly contradictory to the path of devotional service. Advaita began to teach the following. According to Yoga Vashista, the path of deductive knowledge, also known as empiric speculation, is the essence of self-realization.
The devotees, after this happened, the Vaishnavas, they actually followed this trick and this technique. They realized more people were attracted to impersonalism. So they thought, well, let us do like Advaita. Let us teach impersonalism, and we'll collect a lot of people and then teach them, turn it around and teach them the glories of the form. We'll attract them, give them our association, and then teach them this. I mean, they were doing anything to get people to accept the association of the personal form of the Lord Chaitanya and all that. So they this, I read this in Chaitanya is it Chaitanya Chandrodaya, the play by Kavi Kanampur. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. They went out and they did by the same, like with Advaita, collected a lot of followers, because the more followers come to that, you know, and then they would gradually teach them about the form of the Lord, because you get relations and they like you, and after, you know, so, you know, it's to the devotees, it's they're free. You're free. You know, they can go into bars to preach. They can go, their bhakti is so powerful, they can go anywhere, they can do anything to preach, because it's always, the idea is like they know what is the truth. So they can, I mean, like, what does Shiva do? He does anything and everything to raise people. He's got that kind of spiritual power. You know, he'll even smoke a joint with some of his devotees or something, and it's okay. I mean, because he knows what is the essence, and he's always trying to raise people. Matter of fact, in neurolinguistic program, they talk about how to match people's energy. See, so devotees might do that too. It depends on your bhakti. If you don't have strong bhakti, you can get carried away also. But Lord Chaitanya's mercy is strong. It's very strong, and this is what people understand. They don't understand why, you know, how could I go over to Pattaya Beach and do kirtan like that every day and do a 30-day fast at the same time? I was 30 days there in Pattaya, just fasting, and every day 3-4 classes, you know, and going out in the afternoons and visit all the prostitutes. And they'd be, this got to be crazy. That's insane. How can you do that? Well, because of Lord Chaitanya's mercy. It's the only way. Otherwise, impossible.
And they were not adverse towards you.
No, not
Nobody
at all.
was adverse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sometimes very, very simple people are more receptive for the Lord than learned scholars.
Oh yeah, and a lot of it, because they're suffering too.
Yeah.
They knew, they, you know, a lot of those prostitutes, they're there because of necessity, and because they're, you know, they got no other alternative. They're just, you know, they don't want to do it often, and so then somebody, because in their heart is good. So they're just, you know, just doing what they got to do to feed their babies. You know, they have children often in other towns and all that. They just come there. They just got to survive and feed their babies, because there's no other alternative. And but their hearts are like gold, you know. They just, and they, once they see this, they're so nice, you know, and so friendly and so appreciative. So that's the way the Lord is. Yeah. Well, you know, this is the way the Lord is. He's looking for who, and the devotees, the same thing. Who will appreciate their message? He'll give more mercy to these prostitutes than he'll give to these big Brahmins who don't appreciate the devotees. Can you imagine? This is all Lord Chaitanya taught this. Jesus taught this. Lord Chaitanya said dealings in love and affection are a million times more better than dealings in awe and reverence. So if a person has affection and they're a prostitute and everything, but they like devotees and they like the devotees' energy and word, then that goes more farther with Krishna. Matter of fact, they just by that attraction they can be liberated. And the prostitutes on the buildings in 10th canto is proof of that. They're prostitutes, man. They're on the top of the building looking at Krishna with such loving eyes, loving ecstasy. Oh, look at this beautiful personality of Godhead.
Yeah.
You know, and then they go and do their business during the day, because there was their business, you know, and so people don't know this kind of secrets.
See, they think everything is rules, regulations, and this is the mode of ignorance. This is the mode of passion, mode of goodness. See? So they thinking like that. And if you're a Brahmin in the mode of goodness, then you're really maybe a pure devotee, or you're a very high person. But everything becomes switched. When the pure devotee is here, they're transcendental to all the modes of nature. See, the Lord is transcendental to all the modes of nature. They're transcendental by being in Krishna. By ecstatically worshiping Krishna, they become transcendentalized in that way. See? So therefore, what the Lord does, they can also do. And this is what people don't understand. But if you that's why you can't imitate it unless you're really there, then you just get carried away. You got to be in Krishna, chant his holy name in deep ecstatic love, and then by your safety is by being in that ecstatic relationship. See? No other way. You can't. That's why Lord Chaitanya also taught you can't imitate Nityananda. If you try to do what he does, you will get polluted. And so anyway, that's why here you come here and go through the process. If there's anything you're envious or jealous, or you want to try to imitate what's going on here, Krishna will paddle you. You'll see, you'll experience that. And that's good. And then you learn, So we got to be deeply in Krishna, and then we get more freedom. This is what it's all about, to set you free, man. You want to be set free from obligations and to follow strictly the rules and regulations of the Varnashram system. Yeah, well, you come here and you'll be set free by being deep in this loving ecstasy. And then the only duty is to stay in that regularly. Right? In that, and in that you got your freedom. Ecstatically worshiping the Lord sets you free from everything, from the cycle of birth and death and everything. You're qualified to enter the kingdom of God, because that's how Narada is. In Narada, he doesn't have to even leave here. He can stay in the material universe as long as he wants, but he's free in that ecstatic relationship, man. That's what we're teaching here. You want to be, anybody out there, you Vites, you want to be free in an ecstatic, intimate, ecstatic relationship with God, with all the symptoms of the tears and the holy laughter and everything like Lord Shiva has? You want to be of the family and understand the mind of Shiva and all deep devotees of the Lord? Well, that's all available here. Otherwise, I haven't seen one place it's available in Vaishnavism. Not one. Zero. No matter how much they're boasting, oh, this is pure, high, everything, they still don't understand what's going on here. When I was preaching, they didn't understand what I was doing. They didn't. There was a haze, it's sort of like a fog over it, because they still haven't transcended the false identification, false ego. All prancing around with big sticks still, This is Vaishnavism. It's the same old. The big sticks and the pride and all of this stuff they think is pure devotional service. No. Sorry.
It's a hobby that they have. They have a hobby.
Well, it's just kind of in Vaishnavism, this is the last frontier. And that's, we're here to show, okay, you want ready to transcend that? Do you really want Krishna, or you want your big stick, thinking like this is it? Holding on to your stick. Here, we can break the stick. We'll break your stick. You better break it. You don't need it anymore. You'll be able to impress people, not with people, they think I need the stick to preach, impress people. Yeah, no. You can break that stick like Nityananda broke. Lord Chaitanya didn't need a stick to preach. He had ecstatic worship. See? You don't need the trouble of carrying a big stick around. I don't need the trouble. I don't need the trouble of sitting there in the mirror in the morning to go like this to preach Krishna consciousness. Yeah, if anybody with half a brain, that's why I'd rather deal with the people that have the Lord has given the intelligence to see, oh, what is this guy? Does he have real eyes? Has he realized something? I'm looking for people like that have a little bit, not the ones that are looking like, go Hari, where's your tilak? Where's your neck beads, man? What is he doing there? No. Go there. We got a lot of gurus out there for you, man. 1,000. At least 1,000 now out there. You can pick any one you want. Okay. For the I get quality here, man. You know, those who the Lord leads here. Yeah, and then we deal with this. It's a lot easier for me, isn't it? I can sit here and it's less problems. Give you, hey man, you're doing the hard way still. You're not really desirous to break the stick.
They
I'll
study
tell
to
you,
have.
you bring that stick here, I'll break. I don't care. It ain't gonna hurt me. You have faith in the stick that's offensive. I'll break your false ego. I don't care. I don't care how big you are out there. I don't care how many disciples glorify you. If you're mundane and haven't transcended the mundane, we'll chide your false ego out there. We'll humiliate it a little bit. It doesn't matter to me. What is the offense? It's mundane. It's like just taking any stick and breaking it. Still material, right? Varnashram system. Yeah. Devotees are free of that. I'm not here to preach etiquettes and all that stuff. Why keep devotional service on the external platform? It's time for the deep thing now. Yeah, that's a mission here. That's my nature, is to share that. Yeah, I got the go ahead, man. Prabhupada gave me the credit card with unlimited balance. He told me, hey, man, that's my approval. You're doing exactly what I want you to do, more of that. Yeah, my balance just keeps increasing on the card, man. You know, it's a prepaid card. You know, the more money you put into it, the more the balance. See, this is, to me, this is the wealth. This is the money. Sadhu Sangha every day, you know, minimum 3 hours at a time.
And you carry all the money all the time with you. All the time you have everything with you, man.
I think you got quite a bit yourself there lately.
You get what?
I think you got quite a bit yourself, man. I think she's carrying a wad. What do you think there, Govinda? Is she carrying a wad also?
She's loaded, man. She's loaded,
She's
with bhakti.
She's loaded. Watch out, man. When that gun starts to shoot, man, you're not going to survive.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Advaita began to teach the following. Oh, no. No, I read this already. The path of devotion to Lord Vishnu is like a mirror, and the path of deductive knowledge is compared to the eyes. What use does a blind man have for a mirror?
You see how speculation is? He's teaching some Mayavadi concepts. See, it's concept. See, so that's even in Vaishnavism, you speculate if you don't really know. Okay, and therefore you give an other conclusion about the same verses. That's why I say you need to hear from a realized soul, a person who's realized Krishna. So you get the verse as it is, and then you get purified fast. Instead of looking at Prabhupada's books and verses and speculating like even that. Still, in Vaishnavism, you can all, if you're not realize these verses, you still kind of like, I see it. Devotees are dancing around the verses like an Indian. They're talking. This is all I hear is I never hear what's going on in the verse. Just a bunch of the big dance, you know, dancing around with the headdress. Oh, look at my headdress, and they're going around. And you're not understanding nothing.
Noise, making noise.
It's a big show. Dancing around. And I always want to grab them and say, come on, let's get to the essence of the verse.
Yeah.
They can't because they have to hear it. You have to hear the verse as it is. And then you start to get purified. Your mind gets purified of speculation. See, your false ideas. See, And
Yes,
that's really
all
instead of
attractive.
the
Then
little
it
Indian,
gets,
"Ooh, I'm a chief. Look at my big headdress." Doing the big show around the verses, and nobody's learning anything. The guy's not learning anything that's speaking, and the hearers are not learning anything, not much, and they're just doing a big dance, like a war, some kind of dance.
yes.
Making a
And
big hoopla.
everybody is pretending to each other that they love it so much. And enthusiasm. And I was standing there. I couldn't play that game. Did you like it? Did you like it? No, not much. Oh, you will later. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, it's superficial, People are caught by superficialities. That's really, yeah. Go ahead.
cool. What use does a blind man have for a mirror? I have thoroughly studied the different scriptures, and I have readily arrived at the conclusion that empiric knowledge is the ultimate goal. That's true. Empiric knowledge is the ultimate goal. Haridas Thakur is more than familiar with the ways and nature of Advaita Acharya, and when he heard the Acharya's attempt to explain everything in the light of empiric knowledge, he merrily laughed. Such is a transcendental characteristic of a pure devotee like Advaita Acharya.
See, this is the thing. In the light, he's explaining this verse in the light of empiric philosophy. See, it's speculation. See, in the light, but that light is darkness. See, this is the whole thing. People are looking at the words, even in scriptures, and explaining it in the light of speculation, and that's not real light. See, you have to explain in the light of the as it is truth. See, when you do that, now you start to overcome illusions and Maya, speculations, and go into melos. See, bliss. See, so this is the thing. That's the light. The light is like when Jesus said, "My words are light." See, my words are light. You look at the word spoken by realized soul. You hear, you see, that's light you take into your ear, and then you start to get the real vision. You realize. So you realize real eyes come from that. Otherwise, this is why why they're in Maya, is because their eyes are not real yet because of what they hear. That's why it's always, Prabhupada taught this. It's this self-realization. Krishna consciousness starts by hearing. Yeah, it starts by hearing, and that's how you overcome the obstacles of speculation. When Lord Chaitanya preached in South India, it was ecstatic and all that and everything, but he preached everything in the light of the absolute truth of devotion to Krishna as it is. And people start to abandon their opinions. See, that's how you do it. When you abandon your speculations, then you can come. Otherwise, you don't abandon them, then you stay distant. You don't understand what's going on here. You got to be drawn in by the word of the devotee. It's really it. You are clean by the word I spoke to you. Jesus told his disciples, now the Holy Spirit will come upon you. See? You got to be cleansed by those words. Go ahead.
Okay. Those who are righteous can easily understand his position, but the offensive lot are rejected. These are really different sentences, Vishwambara, who is the most munificent supreme personality and who fulfills all desires, perceived in his heart Advaita's, Acharya's desire. One day he was promenading the streets of Navadvip with Nityananda Prabhu, observing his own creation. Brahma, the creator of this universe, was watching all these activities of the Lord and feeling very fortunate and elated. He happily thought to himself, the Supreme Lord is appreciating my artistry in the engineer of this creation. As they moved about with charming gracefulness, the two of them looked like the full moons sailing across the sky. The residents of Navadvip could see them, each according to his own devotion. This is interesting, actually. How good you can see them is according your own devotion. Remaining unseen to human eyes, the demigods also surveyed the movements of the two moon-like lords and wondered in their minds. They observed the two moons of Navadvip, and confused by such opulence, they began to consider their own heavenly abode was now the earth, and what was actually the earth had become the heavenly abode, the
Oh,
moon.
you know, can you read all that again that you just started? It was really good and deep.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we,
If you
yeah,
explain what I'm reading, then I
yeah,
will
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go back, yeah, go back a little bit.
know
Yeah,
what
go
I'm
back.
reading.
Yeah, yeah, it's very
Um,
amazing. About
remaining
where
us.
Lord, about where Lord Brahma was talking.
Oh, okay. Brahma, the creator of this universe, was watching all these activities of the Lord and feeling very fortunate and elated. He happily thought to himself, the Supreme Lord is appreciating my artistry in the engineering of this creation.
Yeah, see, this is again the secret. You, he Brahma is seeing that the Lord is appreciating his artistry. So he's seeing his own creation in relationship to Krishna. And that is a secret. Matter of fact, Krishna taught him that. Krishna said, anything you see in this, well, Brahma was thinking, first of all, he said, how do I not fall into this Maya that because I'm going to create nothing but illusions here in this world. See, and it's going to be majestic. It's going to be amazing, you know, and so how do I not fall into illusion and forget you? And he says, well, anything, Brahma, that people see that is devoid of a relationship with me is my illusory energy. So he says, basically, see everything in relationship to me. See, and that's how you'll stay out of the Maya. You'll always see that it's all related to me. But this is what people do. They see that this is just some random thing that by nature was just created by nature. They don't see it in relationship to Krishna. They don't see that Brahma has a relationship with Krishna. Therefore, he could create this. See, and then the elation comes. See, the transcendental experience of the supramundaneness of this creation begins to manifest the exaltedness of it. Otherwise, it's just like, yeah, it's pretty and all that, and it's just kind of a mode of goodness at best. But you don't see it's transcendental, like, wow, this was created by Brahma under the direction of Krishna, and that's why it's so beautiful. Here in the world. But and then you see, its superficiality, it's beautiful but external, and all these different things we understand because it's in relationship to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, it's just mundane. It's just material, and people just, you notice they just have a good time with nature. They go out and they get their jet skis and go and surf on the water, and they never give any appreciation or, well, it's just not here, and it's just kind of nice. It's fun, we go and we do these things and go to the mountains and we do this and do this. So they basically enjoy the Lord's creation without giving appreciation
Yes.
to the creator. And if you do that, then you really start to really relish it more. Even Christians, when they start to see everything in Jesus. I mean, I remember as a Christian, I would see everything in Jesus, and I was more elated, more ecstatic, man. You know, it's all connected. And because Jesus said, "See everything in me, and I'll be in you." And I thought, yeah, that's it, man. I see everything in there. I was more elated, more ecstatic. And the same thing here now. You know, it's the same principle. And that's raises us above the mundane world. Otherwise, we get caught up in it. So go ahead, read a little bit more.
As they moved about with charming gracefulness, the two of them looked like two full moons sailing across the sky. The residents of Navadvip could see them, each according to his own devotion. Remaining unseen to human eyes, the demigods also surveyed the movements of the two moon-like lords and wondered in their minds. They observed the two moons of Navadvip and, confused by such opulence, they began to consider their own heavenly abode was now the earth, and what was actually the earth had become the heavenly abode, the moon. Similarly, they mistakenly considered that the demigods were now the earthly beings and the earthlings now were the residents of heavenly planets. Thus, they began discussing the mystery of the two moons. Someone said, two moons together were never permitted entry in the heavenly planets. Someone else said, let me tell you that one of them is the original moon and the other is its reflection. Yet another said, the Son takes after the Father in all respects. Perhaps one is the Father, the moon, and the other is his Son, Mars. It is
Yeah,
not.
this is the beauty. See, this is it. The devotee and the Lord sporting together. So they were here. You know, Nityananda is like the original expression of devotion, just like Radharani. You know, they just naturally brother and brother, friend to friend, like this, servant to servant, you know, servant to master. So yeah, and so the demigods, even they're now see they're not usually concerned. They're earthly people. They're mundane, and most are not even in Kali Yuga. Most are not even in the mode of goodness. But their attention was captured when Lord Chaitanya was here with his principal devotee and all the other devotees, because it's just like you got brother to brother, you know, with the transcendental brothers. So they became extremely looking over here, and they thought, this is real heaven. This is beyond that. Actually, it was more than heaven, because you look at the devotees, they're having an experience that even is greater than what is in the heavenly planets. This pure devotional service is greater than that. It's attractive to even the demigods. That's when they start to look over here, is when there's even one devotee here in their relationship with the Lord. Think, oh wow, this is heaven. You know, this is real heaven. Let's look over here. Let's meditate on that. That's why the Lord Chaitanya caught the demigods' attention. Usually they don't care about it, especially in Kali Yuga. Why do they want to look at this? Modes of passion and ignorance. Yeah, you got to have something more attractive. Well, that was Lord Chaitanya. It's more attractive to those who are, you know, like have some intelligence, you know. So, yeah. And same thing now, although, see, now the modes of ignorance and passion are very strong. It's like Prabhupada, when he came over from on the Jaladuta, he was wondering, how am I going to reach these people? They're in ignorance and passion. How are they going to understand even goodness? So they needed a miracle, and so the Lord gave them. Same thing. How are these people who believe in rules and regulations? Now, they've been raised up to that platform. How are they going to understand what we're doing here? Here, we're it's like the same kind of thing that it was happening with Lord Chaitanya: ecstatic worship, laughing, crying, horripulations, and very deep revelations and real. How are they going to understand any of this? Only by a miracle, by sadhu sangha. Or a miracle. Look, I was wondering, how is anybody going to look at 20 years? I was talking and talking, never barely anybody coming. Or they'd come for a time and then go, because, yes. How? Well, this is the miracle. He
The
said,
Lord gave a push.
yeah, even
He
now,
gave a big push.
yeah. And people are still coming now, gradually. They don't all stay right away all the time, but, they're coming and getting purified. And this all goes to real eyes. See, our eyes become, when they start to really see, they realize, wow, this is important. This is wonderful. Isn't that why you're coming here every day? Look at, she comes every day. Static Development,
Yeah.
Govinda,
Love
so
it.
many others.
Love it. Love it.
You
Love it.
real eyes. You got real eyes to see, wow, this is important. This is fantastic. This is amazing.
Yeah, with real eyes, you get real life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how can you live like a blind man? How can you continue living blindly?
Yeah.
It
Like
has been long enough.
Yeah, like Advaita, he's saying only recourse is pure devotional service. Then I can understand the Lord as he is. And not only as he is, but where he is. He's here, man. He's here in his transcendental manifestation in the midst of us. He likes to dwell in the midst of his devotees.
Big mist.
It's like all these sparkling parts. There's this Christian. I don't know if it was real or not, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But he would play the instrument and he would start singing, and all these sparkles would come. You could see this on YouTube videos. He'd do this, and all these sparkles would start coming down, man.
With Rainy or Renee, these green things.
Well,
When she
no,
was playing guitar.
Yeah, that's another one. That's the orbs. But this other guy, just all these sparkles would come, literally. So as I said, I'm not sure, in Christianity, you never know, there's people, but maybe it is real. I mean, this stuff is all coming, I'll show you a video sometime. I'll find it if I can find it somewhere. Yeah, it became very popular. People would come and, oh, look at all the sparkles, start singing, playing, all this stuff would start coming. It's on video, so I don't know. You never know. They could be throwing sparkles from the thing, some kind of magic thing. Maybe not.
Oh, sorry. Book.
Yeah, go ahead.
In this way, the two lords strolled about in Navadvip. At one point, Lord Vishwabhara said to Lord Nityananda, let's go to Shantipur and visit Advaitacharya's house. Both lords were always ready engaged in pleasurable pastimes, so they immediately headed for Advaitacharya's house. Almost halfway to Shantipur, they came across a village called Lalitapura, situated upon the banks of the Ganga. There is a hut by the river. Lived there, in a hut by the river, lived a household sannyasi. Lord Vishwambara inquired from Nityananda Prabhu.
See, the Lord always wants to engage in pleasurable pastimes. See, he's always up for it. This is the thing. So that's the thing. So the Lord is also, he comes in the unseen here, because he's always open to. He wants to engage in pleasurable pastimes, but the only persons he can really do that with are with his intimate devotees, because they're the ones who understand him, understand his mentality. The Lord is playful. He likes to engage in pleasurable pastimes, so he can only do that with his real devotees. Okay. And so the real devotees are also up for it. I mean, I'm always up for it every day, man. you know, I'm see, so, and you guys obviously are for, so we come here together and talk about Krishna and chant his names and everything because we're up for these pleasurable pastimes. Isn't that fun? Look at me. Can you imagine people again, if they knew how easy it would be to liberate, get liberated, all they have to do is come and engage in this devotional party. That's all it is. They engage in pleasurable pastimes, talking about Krishna, chanting his name, crying, laughing. Oh, it's like a party, you know. It's like a rave here. It's very raving madmen and mad women.
It's
You know?
much more than fun. It's bursting from extreme happiness.
Oh yeah, it's a party, man. It's a
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, the Lord is giving. They you know, people, you know, in devotional services, you know, with a big scowl on their face, they use it. It's not about enjoying Krishna. You know,
He's the enjoyer, not you.
yeah. Yeah. That I say, you out there, you scornful out there. No, that's illusion. No, it is about enjoying Krishna. But see, when people say that, that's a lack of realization. When they say it's not about enjoying Krishna, no, it's not about enjoying his Maya. That's the problem. You got to
Yeah.
enjoy Krishna's transcendental name and form and pastimes. You know, that's what you're enjoying. You know, you're enjoying chanting his name and associating with Krishna. That we're meant for that enjoyment. If you want true happiness and true love and true purification and true inspiration and true everything, and you want real eyes, you got to enjoy chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in ecstasy. And yeah, so it is about enjoying, engaging in devotional service instead of engaging in mundane activities and service to Maya. That's what it is. And that enjoyment is limited. You get some enjoyment in that and a lot of pain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's mundane, you know, happiness, and then leads to distress. I mean, that's the teaching of Maya. Thank you very much, Maya. You know, I'm losing more faith in her every day.
And you know what? You forget that this is all going on actually when you're out, when you're in this deep into these pastimes. You forget that this is actually going on in the world until you go back into it, and you see people acting in fear and bewilderment, and then oh yeah, it's still going on.
Yeah,
because this is so absorbing. But you do forget because you're in the world, but not of it. It's not really affecting you. Just oh my gosh, these poor unfortunate people, and then the preaching kicks in, and you know that kind of if people have room for the word,
yeah,
then you can share, like meet people and make that connection, like a friendship connection is a
yeah,
solid basis.
yeah.
Like a fellow was doing some building work the other day. Well, I could talk about building work if I have to, you know what I mean? Kind of that inroad. And so connection,
Yeah.
some connection that people identify with. If you
Yeah.
come in straight with something like what we do, they wouldn't get it, but
Yeah.
make that connection. Yeah.
Well, that's what Lord Chaitanya did with you know, he would go and he'd just go and meet the residents in Vrindavan and talk to them and build up some relationship.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people don't know. You know, they don't know you. Who are you? You know, so because if there's respect there, there'll be you know, more openness. Yeah.
I'm so nicely surprised how appreciative and how deep into what we're doing that Evans is and his family and his friends back in Africa, you know. So I'm kind of looking forward to a video. He's promised me a little kirtan and bhajan of singing Hare Krishna with his friends. So it's really it surprised me. It surprised me, but you know, that's the potency here. It's amazing.
I think the president of Guam, I think he was actually knows that there's this conspiracy thing going on. The president, president of somebody back there, because he spoke about it.
There's some African country, it might be Ghana, some African country, he didn't buy into the whole bullshit. And
I
understand he's gone missing and he's been replaced As
Oh, really?
best I might have,
Oh, that
as best as I understand.
gone missing.
Yeah, I did read a post on that it had been
Oh,
replaced. So
Yeah. Well, ultimately there's a deeper plan of the Lord. Just like you say, Kolki comes and he slaughters a lot of people that are impious. So this might be part of the plan of getting rid of the populace that the Lord wants to get rid of. Just what are you going to do? It's his show. People are just involved in it. I know people are very unhappy that are fighting this. They're just like, oh, we want it the way it was. And I don't know, just all I can say is you got to have, if you have this, you can get through anything.
got to have the ally, as you share about in
Yeah.
the ally. We've got to have that. We've got to have that. Otherwise, like this lady I listened to, she was speaking from her heart, wasn't quite
Yeah.
sure to take the injection. Two minds, but her association around is not strong enough, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah. This here is the bottom line is the purpose of life is to get what we have, and that what we're giving here. See, really, because if you got this, whether you stay here today or you leave in 10 years, it's like Paul realized this. All devotees realize this. They have this communion now with God. They realize, oh, this is it. This is why I came into this world. This is why everybody comes in the world, whether they know it or not. They're in Maya, and the whole point of this is to get out. That's it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise there's no point. Everything you're doing is illusion. Everything demigods are doing is illusion. Everything demons are doing is illusion. Everything human beings are doing is illusion. The whole point is to get out, and transcend. That's why the Lord Chaitanya comes here. That's why Krishna comes here. That's why Ram comes here. That's why Jesus Christ comes here, to get us out. Otherwise, there's, so we're already out in that way. We're out. We just qualified we meet Krishna here every day. We're qualified to meet him when the body drops. Why not? What's the difference? It's our life now. When the Lord is your life and soul, man, he's your life and soul. He's the only one who can say, well, you got to come to me. You're thinking about me all your life. You love me. You demonstrate that. You share that love with others. That's the only solid thing in this world. Okay, so this is what we have. A lot of people don't have this. They think that's why they're trying to fight, either to make their desires manifest, this thing of this illusion of trying to control everything, or they're trying to fight it so that their bodies can survive. And it's a lot of work. And then I just I can't put my energy into that. We have to do what the mission is, like pull as many people out as possible. Because, can you see the logic of it? If people can come here and experience faith in Krishna and attraction to Krishna's transcendental name and pastimes, they've been set free, whether their body remains or not. See, so it's this bodily identification. Sometimes even hear the devotees, oh, he's suffering and all this and all that. I said, well, you got Krishna at least. That's the main thing for being here. So whether your body lasts a day or 10 years, it's all gravy and icing. So that's Paul. Paul was great. I like I like any devotee's realization, that is preachers especially. They get very deep realizations. Paul said, hey man, if I can go back to Jesus now, if I'm, just meant to go, or they cut my head off or whatever they do, then I go back to Jesus and be with him. If not, then it's for your profit, because then I remain here and preach and help people come. So each way, just so isn't that the kind of time we're in? Bailey, I'm sorry, man, but if you're not out of this, then you better, and you're just still mundane and Varnashram Dharma and Vaidhi Bhakti, well, you haven't got it yet. You haven't understood. Your soul has not been deeply awakened yet. See? Well, anyway, the people coming here, if they can get that this message is really real and true and is the door to Vrindavan, very quick advancement to the point where you can chant the holy name in great ecstatic devotion, you can come here and do it. We already have witness examples. Yeah, you know what? I think I need to stop here. I get a little tired myself in my voice. The more you read, the more I want to talk, and if I continue talking, my voice is going to go out. I just, you just want to talk about the truth and glorify it and make it, just crystal clear. And there's just, what other happiness to devote? It's just fun, man. It's just fun. Like that song, fun. Was that by the Beach Boys? The Beach Boys. See, Krishna's like the beat. Yeah, he's like the ultimate beach boy, man. Beach, the friends are on the beach having a good time surfing. That's to me is what we do here, man. Right, Govinda? You just come here and you say surfing, fun.
And that's what people, they see the casualness, the same casualness as Krishna, and they're like, well, aren't you concerned? Aren't you worried? Aren't you doing something proper? This is proper. They don't see that this is proper. Spiritual welfare.
My ex-wife left me, one of her reasons. Go, Ari, you're just not serious enough. Another disciple.
Don't work.
Yeah. You're just not serious. Both of them. You're not serious enough. You're not serious at all, actually. I said, but honey, that's Vrindavan. Vrindavan's like that. It's very fun. It's very joyful and everything, but very profound at the same time. Because what we're doing is also the same way. It's the same thing because it's the new Vrindavan. It's very fun. Yeah,
they mix being serious with being boring.
Yeah. They think being boring is where it's at.
Because they walk around Srila Prabhupada. I don't remember how many times she let me walk. 16 times, I think, or 8 times around Nisrimadev. It's boring. It's, if they call that serious.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Lord wants to give that effortless preaching. Effortless to, it's just, you look at the verse, man, and you get realized, man, and then you just speak about what you realize see. Well, I'm real. My real eyes are showing me this. And what you say becomes like a Jesus Christ. The same, and even more, because that's the way the Lord is. Everything's on the increase. Even my disciples are getting better they're getting dreams. Look at Johan's dreaming about all kinds of amazing things. Look at the Ganga. She opens her mouth and ecstasy just flows out of her mouth, man. And look at Christina's and Bhakti. Look at Govinda. Look at that guy, man. The guy is amazing. I mean, all of you guys, It's all, and everybody here is progressing. Turtles are, if you're a turtle type, turtles are progressing, making great advancement. They're slow and easy.
But they arrive.
Yeah, but they keep going. Turtles, there's all kinds of, there's jackrabbits that come into the kingdom. There's jackrabbits here. We got turtles. We're all marching into the kingdom, And Gohari be the last. The first becomes last. I'm here, the last one in the thing, man. Just like Moses, he was the last. He didn't even get to see the promised land. He only got to see it. He didn't go in there. I think you guys get to go into the promised land. I'm going to be sitting there. I just get to get a glimpse of it.
No.
That's okay.
No.
I'm happy. I'm just a
No,
beggar.
no, no.
What is beggars? I just beggars. I got my bowl out. Whatever the Lord wants to give them. Like, throw a crumb in there. Okay, I got a crumb. Thank you. How about another crumb, Lord? So Shamaguri says, that's why I love to be in Sankirtan, distributing the books, spreading this beautiful wisdom and knowledge. I will take Vrindavan any day over boring Buddhism. Surfing USA, spreading the nectar is the greatest joy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the wisdom. Yeah, and it's nice to, and I think we'll do more of this. We'll take Prabhupada's books, basic books even, and talk about them, and bring everybody into the deeper level of them.
Make it juicy.
Yeah, make it. Yeah, I mean they're already juicy, but just it's kind of nice. You build on the foundation. The foundation are the words of the previous acharyas. That's what Jesus did. He built on the foundation of the previous prophets. They're all servants of the Lord. It's all one family. And so we're building also on the previous acharyas, but you got to be one to actually do that. That's why Jesus had to be one of that family to do it. See? Otherwise, everybody just speculate. It's dead. They're going around Prabhupada's verses like this. They're making a big show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at the headdress, man. Look at the stick. Nobody's understanding. It's a big show, big bhakta, what do they call it? Bhagavat Sapta. We're talking about the Lords and Krishna. They're going, woo, making all this noise. Sorry, I'm making jokes at the expense of others, but I don't know. This is the Lord gave it. Blame Krishna. He gave me the idea.
Yeah.
They
need to be made.
Isn't that funny? Krishna gives me the ideas, but I got to take all the blame. What is this? What is this? He gives me ideas, but I got to take all the heat for it. You see, he's sitting there up in Vrindavan having a good time, just playing some songs, and they give me these ideas, and I go speak about them, and they Gore, he said that. Well, it's time to know. Hey, man, you want to blame somebody? Blame the guy who gives the idea, because I ain't got anything.
Yeah.
Just looking at a tube, man.
Don't shoot at a piano player. Shoot at a flute player.
I'm tired of taking the heat, man, for all this. They put Jesus on the cross. Those were God's words that he spoke, and they blamed Jesus for it. Can you imagine? What is it? They put him on a cross, put a crown on him, whipped him, and spit on him, and everything. Hey, that was God's words. Blame the Lord. Why don't you blame the Lord, you Pharisees? Across all that trouble, blame the Lord. He gave them Jesus the words. But they don't do that. They always blame the speaker. They never praise or blame the actually flute player. They only see the flute, so they blame the flute.
Because they are in fear for the Lord.
Yeah. But when you start to see the truth, what's going on, then you give. That's why the devotees start that. They give praise to the Lord. Jesus always, he always gave praise. Of myself, I can do nothing. It's the glories of the Lord working through. Any ecstasy you guys get, it's the Lord's mercy. Okay? That's really the truth. People got to go where the Lord's mercy. I mean, I would be a liar if I didn't say the truth that the Lord's mercy is very thick here.
Yeah.
I'd be a liar. I have to acknowledge that, but not, but it's not. I mean, the Lord chooses who he chooses to do his thing. What are you going to do? You can either go with it, or you can fight it, like the guy that was his name, the guy who won the fish, not Job, but
Oh,
what's that? Jonas. Jonas.
Hi,
Jonas.
Joe.
yes, yes,
Didn't want to
yes.
say. The Lord said, "I'm choosing you to put my message, give my message." I don't want to do it. He would argue with the Lord, get angry. And the Lord chased him all over. You're my. Why don't you use somebody else? No, I like you. I want you. You know, I'm choosing you. I choose what I choose. Finally got him to speak, but took a while. I thought, just get with the program, man. You might as well, surrender.
How can you say no when the Lord calls you? Oh.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right, we'll stop here. I got up a little early tonight, I think. Yeah, probably 1:30. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Very early.
Yeah, I saw you guys were all on, having a good time. So kind of get it around, look around a little bit. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for
Hare
coming.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Thank you so
Krishna,
much.
Hare Krishna, Lisa.
Hare Krishna Govinda.
Hare Krishna.